Alright guys, welcome back to another Vinny Built Structures video. This is going to be part 2 of Shane's build. I showed you guys in part 1 how I built the door frames. Now we will take those frames and we will attach them to the rear wall. And by the end of this video you will see how the rear wall looks completed. Once that is completed, I can start assembling the structure. Also, when the 4 main walls are up, there'll be an office building an office structure that will go inside the building that I will do after all the walls are, all the main walls are permanently in place. The reason why I'm doing that is because I want to make sure I get exact measurements. Anyhow, stay tuned and we'll get back down to the build, and I'll show you the process of how these are going to get mounted and all the supports that need to get in there. We'll cut the door panel and give it a trial run through the first section that I assemble. After that, I will just show the final assembly of the rear wall. So stay tuned and we will be right back with the build. Alright guys, what you're looking at here is the rear wall for Shane's build. This wall is going to get 2 of these guys, one for each door. Also, there's going to be a couple of these little concrete pads that will go down here, and there'll be a couple of these supports for the truss work that's going to go in this building. And Shane, just remember what I said in the last video, things are not always what they appear to be. Anyhow, when I finished with these guys yesterday, and I took them out of the jig and everything, they really weren't 100% square, and I was using the number 175 styrene strips, but apparently they were flexing too much and it was making the upper section here a little bit too flexible. I tried to scale it down to make it look a little bit better, but unfortunately I had to go to a larger size of the styrene strips. It's the same ones I used in the front. I was just trying to be a little bit different in the rear. Anyhow, what we're going to do in this video is we're going to go ahead and mount the first set of door frames, which will go on this door right here, and we will measure everything up, and we'll cut the panel out and we'll put our cross beams in there, and we'll see how this door operates. We're also going to put some styrene strips that go straight down the back to the wall that will firm this up a bit, and cross beams that'll go across this way. So stay tuned and let's get on with the project. Alright guys, before we get started on actual putting this stuff together, I did put some brown paper down here. It's just brown shipping paper, so I wouldn't scratch up the front paint, the front walls paint, because I went through a lot of trouble to get this building to be painted correctly. Anyhow, we're going to be using 2 more evergreen products, number 187 and number 188. These will be for structural support of the door frames. The 187 will be used for the cross members from one side to the other, and the 188 will be used once this gets mounted into the building. There'll be that strip that goes across here all the way to the back wall, which will stiffen this up a bit more also. Anyhow, let's go ahead and get started and start putting this puppy together. Guys, we're going to have 3 of these cross beams on each one of these door frames. And sometimes I just find it easier for me to use the metric system to measure stuff rather than use the SAE American measurements, only because it's hard for me to see the increments on the ruler here. So in this case, these cross beams will be 86 millimeters, and there'll be 3 on each one of these door frames. And let me get you up to here, and as you can see, I've got the door frames mounted, and I've already got my cross beams cut out. And so now we'll go ahead and mount them. There'll be one at the start of the curve, and there'll be one at the end of the curve, and then there'll be one at the top. And that should keep everything consistent throughout the whole door frame assembly. So let's get going with mounting these puppies. Guys, I got my 3 cross members in there. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to run a support from here all the way down to the wall, and these will kind of keep it from swaying like this back and forth. Also, to give it a little extra support, I'll be putting these little, I call them shoes. They'll go down here, and the bottom of these will get attached to that, give it more gluing surface to adhere to. Anyhow, I will go ahead and put these on, and we will continue the build from there. So stay tuned, and we will be right back. Guys, I got my 2 main supports here that are going to go back to the wall, but as you can see down here that it's not really square, and that's where my little shoes will come in handy, because they will go down here, and I will be able to adjust this to get it square. And as you can see, that the whole thing is actually moving, and I'm working on this brown paper that really is not giving me a flat surface, but anyhow, that's what it's going to be right there. And as you can see, that will square it up, and the rest of the squaring will get done once it gets into the building, as I have mentioned several times already, because there'll be trusses that go along the top here, and I will secure these just as in prototype when you see a garage door in there. Believe it or not, I got the inspiration to do these doors by looking at my only garage door that I have in my house. And it does have a structure like this that goes to the wall. Of course, it doesn't have all these little guys in there because it's bolted directly to the wall. But anyhow, let me get these pieces installed, and I'll show you how that's going to look. Alright guys, as you can see, I've got my little brackets built in down here, and just to give you an idea, now this plastic is a little bit on the warp side, but I think that'll be handled when I finally get it mounted to the base. But anyhow, as you can see, we're square to the front wall on both of these, and that's looking good so far. I like it. Anyhow, the next thing we're going to do is cut out the door panel itself. I did take the brown paper off because it had a couple of little bumps in it that was messing with me getting these puppies square. So I took the paper out, and if the front gets scratched up, I'll just have to repaint it. Anyhow, let's get on to cutting out the door panel. So we'll be right back. Alright guys, you know my rules as far as gluing to painted surfaces. It just don't work. So what I have done that I didn't show you guys when I did the framework here is I actually masked off the spaces that this was going to get attached to, and then just sanded it down to the plastic. And I also did the same thing for the truss supports that are going to be in here. I did the same thing. I masked it off and left enough room for here, and I just went ahead and uh, masked that off and sanded it down. So now I have good gluing surfaces, and I'm going to end this video here because there's still a lot more to do. The next part will be doing the doors, and I'll show you how I did that. So I thank you guys for watching the videos. I hope you're enjoying my series on these, and I hope you guys can learn something on how to scratch build structures, especially this one, because this one here is a bit more advanced. Anyhow, thanks for watching, and as always, your questions, comments, input, and subs are always welcome. For now, that's all folks. BNSF 6951 out.